Van D, a dynamic leader with decades of experience building companies and crushing sales. He's been there and done that.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello. My name is Van D.
Inspiring audiences across the country to do it too. Here's Van.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Van D podcast. Man, I am so glad you are with me today. We are coming to you in severe strength, big-time strength, to help you become better at what you do, to help you live a more fulfilled life. That's what the Van D podcasts are all about. And I'm here today with greatest producer on the planet, Dylan Liskey. Thank you, Dylan. I'm glad you're producing this show. You're a good man. So today, everybody, hey, first of all, before I get started, I always got to throw out there, I love my dog. Most of you know that I have a little 3.5-year-old, 10-pound Havanese. And man alive, what he does for me is beyond words. So I wish he was able to listen. Little shout out to my dog, Baxter. Okay, today, I want to talk to you about a topic that many of you have heard before, or you've heard somebody say. The truth will set you free. You've probably heard that more times than you could count. Of course, you know it's in the Bible. John 8:32 says exactly, then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. This statement is also commonly heard in academic settings. So let me ask you something. When you hear the truth will set you free, what does it mean to you? It will most likely mean something different to each of us. I know I could spend a good couple hours telling you what that statement means to me. The truth will set you free. So just know, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change. And that's how I also value the statement, the truth will set you free. Today, I would like to relate this statement to business. When I think about it in this context, the truth will set you free in business means that I should be true to myself and not try to be something I am not. Now, I'm very blessed and fortunate that I'm approaching my 40th year in my business career. I don't know where all the time went. I've gone through a lot of life changes, but I'm just grateful I'm here today talking to you. I have not always been true to myself. When I first became straight commission salesperson at age 23, I thought I was good at every aspect of being a good salesperson. And then when I became a business owner and a leader, I thought I was good at every aspect of being a business owner and a leader. Well, I was not good at everything. However, at some point in my life, I finally realized it. I know I could have been a much better CEO and a much better salesperson if I had admitted it that I needed to work on certain skills. When I ran my company, I had 350 people that worked with me. I could have been a much better CEO. Now, as I get older, I have become a lot more comfortable admitting to myself that I'm not good at everything. So the truth did set me free. And I want to tell you something. When I finally realized that I'm not all that I really think I am, it's liberating to feel okay with not being good at something that I really want to be good at. I want to give you a quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson. To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. Now, one of the things I can tell you is in my almost 40-year career in real estate, in my 25-year career in motivational speaking, I have been true to myself in the aspect of I wanted to be different. I wanted to set myself apart. I never wanted to say there's 2,800 realtors in Omaha, Nebraska, and Van Dieb is one of them. I wanted to separate myself from the pack, and I want them to look at me in a different way. Same thing with motivational speaking. I don't want to be compared to anybody else because I want to be known as this is Van Dieb, motivational speaker, or this is Van Dieb, business owner. Over the last several years, I've been waking up each morning. I mean, usually every day I wake up yearning to learn something new about myself and get better at the things I am not good at. Now, there's only one person that can truly help you get better, and that's yourself, the man in the mirror, the person in the mirror. If you're fortunate enough to have a supportive spouse, children, people in your life that are helping you get better, then right on, man. You've got it going on. But you're the one that has to make that decision. There's always room for improvement. I want to learn something from my audiences that I speak to, from the clients that I coach, and from the people that I mentor. It is an incredible feeling to keep striving to get better. And I want to tell you something. When you're trying to get better, it makes your life more interesting. It's not just the ho-hum every day. I literally wake up and say to myself, I want to learn something new today. As a lot of you know by being in my audiences or listening to my podcast or my radio show, I'm a big fan of self-talk. I even have a podcast. If you'll scroll through, I'd really like you to listen to it because I spend a lot of time talking to myself, like saying things to myself in the mirror. I want to inspire somebody today. I want to be productive today. I want to make a difference today. So don't allow society to turn you into a person you are not. My whole point in telling you all this is because it's okay to be different. It's okay to want to stand out in a crowd. And just because I have been there and done that in my career does not mean that I cannot learn more and do more. I mean, I'm very blessed. I've written 6 books. I've had the American dream. I built a company with only $500 in my pocket and sold it for 7 figures. I'm very grateful, but a lot of hard work and a work ethic will put you on a level playing field of your competitors. I just want you to know that. So when was the last time you said to yourself, I want to be a better CEO or a manager, a better employee. I want to be a better coworker. I want to be a better salesperson. Or maybe you just want to be a better person, period. Part of my transformation to who I am today involved realizing that I didn't always have to be right. That alone was liberating. And I've been around a lot of people these last 4 or 5 years that had to always be right. And you know what? I let them because it was more important to them than it was to me. I want to tell you something. That alone was liberating. Mostly because I see how bad it looks when people refuse to admit that they're wrong. It makes them look really bad. Am I going to tell them that? No. Maybe somebody else will. What are some of the areas in your life where the truth will set you free and help you become better? Seriously. Here are a few suggestions that I'm going to read to you. I'm going to make sure that you know this. So you may want to grab a pen, put me on pause, grab a pen and a paper, because I really want you to remember this stuff. The following I'm going to give you are a few suggestions that I would take myself whenever I get the opportunity. Okay, if you're a CEO or a manager or a leader, now let me tell you something. If you're a father, you're a CEO, you're a manager, and you're a leader. It doesn't have to be business. Listen to your employees. If you're a CEO of a company, like I said, I'm relating this, the truth will set you free, to business. Once again, if you're a CEO, manager, or leader, listen to your employees and sit down for a meeting with them at least once a month to get their opinions on things you could do better. So let me ask you, who's better qualified to critique your leadership skills than the people you are leading? I don't know too many people that are managers or business leaders or CEOs that call their team in once a month and say, make me better. How can I get better? Now, I want to tell you something. If I was still running my big company, believe me, what I know now, I would have called them in once a month and say, I have a pad and a pen in my hand. Start telling me things that I could do better to lead this company. And after you visit with your employees, set yourself free by writing down everything your employees said at each meeting, reading it over and over again, and making the necessary changes. What about suggestions for being a better salesperson? And the truth will set you free. Okay, this is what I did. I never give you advice on things, on anything, unless I've been there and done that, tried it, or failed at it. To be a better salesperson, find someone who is one of the leading salespeople in their industry and offer to take them to lunch or coffee. Come prepared to this meeting with questions so you won't waste their time. Find out what they're doing to be successful. I want to tell you something. Around 40-some years ago, or I should say 30-some years ago, a couple years after I got in business, I took one of the top real estate agents in the country, in the United States, that happened to live in the same town I did, Dallas, Texas. I called her up and I said, can I take you to lunch so I could, get to know who this unbelievable, accomplished person is? I wanted to learn as much as I could from her. I will never forget the things that she said. The information she shared with me has played a huge role in my career. You know what I mostly realized? She worked her tail off. She was disciplined, had a great work ethic, and she treated everybody like gold. How hard is that? So, suggestions for being a better salesperson: set yourself free by determining what you can incorporate into your daily routine and your business plan based on what successful people are doing and what you should be doing. Why not? And I really believe in reading it over and over. I'm a big fan of Napoleon Hill. He wrote in 1937 in Think and Grow Rich. If you can conceive it and believe it, you will achieve it. Well, how are you going to conceive it if you don't see it? You got to write this stuff down. Your life is worth taking 5 minutes a day and reading something that's going to help you get better. And finally, I want to talk about suggestions for being a better person. Good coffee. Dylan, is that you that makes the coffee? No, he's shaking. He's laughing at me. He says, no, it's coming from that dang machine back in the break room here at Hurrdat Media. All right, suggestions for being a better person. You got to ask yourself, do you want to get the most out of life and reach your full potential in all that you do? You got to ask yourself that. If you know that eliminating certain behaviors would make you a better person, what are you waiting for? The same goes if you know that your life would be better if you did a little more than you are doing right now. What are you waiting for? If there's something in your life that's holding you back, maybe you drink too much, maybe you don't take care of yourself, why not work on it now? We all have the God-given ability to change our lives for the better. If you know that doing things differently will help you become a better person, then why not do it? I want to give you an example. I know if I eat bad, I perform bad. I don't feel great if I don't eat properly. So once in a while, I do this intermittent fasting. Why? Because I heard from other people and I wrote it down. It makes them feel good. So I only eat between the hours of 11 and 7, and that's it. And I want to tell you something. I'm not a nutrition guru. Quite the opposite when it comes to suggesting things to people. But because I never want to give unsolicited advice. I used to all the time, and I don't think people like that unless they really want to get better. But I have never felt this good. I feel better than I've ever felt because I'm doing intermittent fasting. So because I know that makes me feel at optimum strength and health, why do I stop doing it? Why do I only do it for a couple weeks? No, I want to make this part of my lifestyle. This really works for me. And apparently from experts, this is really good for your body and certainly good for my mind. So set yourself free and wanting to become a better person by taking a hard look at yourself and identifying what you do and do not like about yourself. Maybe you know that you could be giving a little more to your career, your family, a better father, a better son or daughter, or maybe you need to give more to a charity that you believe in. It doesn't have to be money. It can be your time. Maybe that'll set yourself free on wanting to become a better person. Or maybe you are doing counterproductive things that are holding you back from being a better person. Like I said to you, if you have unhealthy habits, then create a discipline to remove them from your life. You know, my late mother, she would always say, don't be your own worst enemy. Now think about that. How many of us in our lives have been our own worst enemy? Yeah, when I've acted up in class when I was a school kid, I was my own worst enemy. I didn't have to do that. When I don't feel well because I had 2 Whoppers with cheese and a couple dozen fries, I was my own worst enemy. I felt terrible for at least one day after that. If I drank too much, I felt terrible the next day. Don't be your own worst enemy. You got one shot. You should be very fortunate and feel very blessed that you're alive today and that you have ears to hear this podcast. I'm being serious. Once you become grateful for the little things and for the big things too, it changes your life. My message today, ladies and gentlemen, is the truth will set you free. You know better. You know what you need to do to be a better person, be a better salesperson, be a better manager, CEO, employee. The truth will set you free, but only if you want it to. I'm really grateful that you listen to my podcast. I really want to improve your life and help you reach your goals. Please subscribe to this podcast because if you don't, you're going to end up forgetting to tune in. And I really want these to come right in your inbox. So please subscribe to my podcast and also go to vandeeb.com. I always do my podcast in a newsletter as well for some of you that like to read this information versus listen. And also, I have a radio show. I won't give you the call letters because I've got listeners from all over the world here on this podcast, but you can go to the website, kcro.com. It's a Christian radio station, kcro.com. Click on podcasts, and that will send you to The Journey with Van Deeb. That's my radio show, and I interview people from all walks of life, only to make us better, because they have stories and challenges in their life that they had to overcome, and we talk about that during that show. Once again, thank you to Dylan, best producer on the planet. Thanks to you, my audience. I am so grateful, and I'm going to leave you with this. The truth will set you free, but only if you want it to.
A Hurrdat Media Production.